Hey everybody. Hey, last night I came out with the audible word that I had from the Lord, which I actually found my video, and it was March 17th that I put that out, that I actually didn't put it up, but it's there. So I can put it up. It was March 17th that I had the audible from the Lord that said that really soon that we were going to be waking up and the world would never be the same again. All right, so I went through that. And so before we start, I would like to start in prayer and ask Father God, I pray the blood of Jesus over this video, all that listen with spiritual ears, Lord, and all have spiritual eyes to hear what the Spirit is saying and what's going on here. Father, you always give us a warning ahead of time, and we give you the praise and the glory and the honor for it. We know that you are still on the throne and still in control of all things in heaven and on earth, that you will protect us, and that Titus 2:13, as promised to his bride, will part those clouds and call us up hither soon. In the meantime, we occupy. We give you praise and we give you glory. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and change the thumbnail here prior to setting it free, or trying to. So bear with me if you're trying to put this up, okay, or listen to it, as this video is very important, and it confirms my dream that I was sharing about a week and a half ago. And that was the dream that I was having, that I knew that I was in Israel. I knew by the dress and the cobblestone streets that I was in the old part of Israel. And we were in the streets doing something, and I was a partaker of all of this. So I didn't feel like a stranger at all. But I didn't know anybody. Then a little man stepped out into the street, and he announced, "Get back, get back." And that's when I boldly said, and woke myself up talking, "Here comes the righteous one." So I was a little rattled, and I was pretty sure of what I saw and who it was, but I needed confirmation before I dared to put this out. And don't you know, the Lord put this in my face, and so I've been doing some research on Project Pogo and Project Cypher. But if anybody remembers David Goldberg, I think he was eliminated last year. But what he's talking about is things that are happening this year. And this is why we're seeing everything happen fast. So also, about all this, I got sent a link this morning that the schools are scurrying as fast as they can to put up 5G in the schools before the kids return to school. And I'll try to put that link in the description box as well. So it is about 5G, and we do know that 5G is a killer, okay? Jesus got this. So listen to David and what he has to say, and then we'll talk about it for a minute, all right? Because I was always wondering, in my mind, like I said, it has to make sense, and it has to line up with the word, and I'm seeing things happening in the chaos, and we already know that, but there was so much confusion, and that's from the enemy. So it was like peace, and blocking yourself out. And how can channels who are telling the truth get taken down, while others who are bigger numbers are telling the same truth, if not more, yet they're not taken down? So this was already shown to me, and then the Lord showed me the narcissists that are on YouTube, and that their masks are falling off, and that discernment is needed very much in the body right now. Y'all need to know who you're listening to and why. That's the big deal, is the why. All right? So when I woke up this morning, I don't know if I even told you yet, but let's see, Dallas County, Tarrant County, Denton County, that's I'm in, and Collin County are now locked down. Whatever you want to call it, it's still all the same thing, right? And we know that martial law is coming, but God is on the throne and in control. So I've got a couple hours to get out there and get anything else that I need. I've been so busy helping everybody else that I failed to take care of me. So here we go.
Is very high, and it has them very concerned. This is much of what the classified documents talk about, but we'll get into that more. I wanted to set it up for you so you actually understand what this is really about. What I was given from the White House Insider. The main part that you really need to know, though, is they have a plan for all of this. So I'm going to talk about that now. There is discussion within these documents years ago to ban the YouTube channels, to shut it down, all of that. But they changed course. They made a decision to do something completely different, and they decided instead of censoring everything, to fund and promote gatekeeper channels, shill channels, to simply gather and collect all the open-minded people who are looking at the issue. And they did shut down some of the legitimate channels, and that has actually happened. If you're following some of that, you are aware that there have been channels that have been shut down, almost completely eliminated. Some of those channels were not a part of the original gatekeeper channels. They have no connection. They are truth-telling channels. Some of those they've eliminated that they felt were a threat or that might be calling out the gatekeeper channels. So, I'm just looking through some of the documents here and seeing what I want to talk about next. One really interesting aspect of all this is that the gatekeeper channels and the shill channels, typically these would be disinfo channels. Disinfo channels, like Alex Jones, for example, has been a long time disinfo Zionist channel. Very, very active in deflecting people away from Zionism. Alex Jones talks about everything, but he never talks about Israel. So that is an active disinfo channel that's been around forever. What they created with these new gatekeeper channels is very truthful channels. They're very honest. They don't put out a lot of disinfo. They are actually legitimate. And that is done to give them credibility among these people who are awake, who are waking up. That was very specifically done, the documents to talk about that. So I'm going to talk about what is the purpose of the whole operation. And the purpose of this is to put out truthful channels, to attract people to them. They call it tag, track, and ID. It is a term used throughout the documents, TTID. It's something you want to remember. This is very common throughout these documents. They're referred to all the time. So what does that tell you? They want to tag, they want to track you, and they want to identify who you are. If you are watching these channels, if you are informed, if you are awake on these issues, they want to tag you, they want to track you, and they want to know exactly who you are. They want to know, and it talks about the tracking people's IP addresses through YouTube. They have access to YouTube. They do know who you are. So this is discussed a lot in the documents. I'm just looking through it right now. And there are two projects, and it's very important to listen to this. Project Pogo is one of them, and Project Zypher. I will spell that one. ZYPHR. Project Pogo and Project Zypher are The two projects that the classified documents are referring to, in each has a different role. Project Pogo is about the YouTube gatekeepers, how they are all agents, they are all paid to put out truthful information so that they can tag, track, and ID the people that are watching the videos and giving them likes and giving them comments. They're tracking all of it. Project Zypher is a different project, and that's what I'll talk about in a bit. That is the second stage here. That is coming up. And that is the extermination. They're going to exterminate these people, whether it is tag them for anti-Semitic speech, charge them with crimes, eliminate them completely, and this is where I'll talk about in the documents where they talk about guillotines, viral attacks, targeted, how they're going to eliminate these people without too much suspicion, without too many people noticing. But here's the problem. As I read the documents, I can see I have documents from 4 years ago, I have documents from 2 years ago, and then I have documents from 3 months ago. So there's a progression in the timeline as the projects change. And Project Zypher has changed. In the beginning, they were talking a lot about, okay, we are going to infect these people with a virus that imitates the flu virus. They're going to eliminate them in various ways that would not be suspicious. In the documents I have now from 3 months ago, they are saying the amount of people they have to eliminate is too large. It is too many. We are talking about millions of Americans. And this is where we see their plans are changing. And they are going to initiate something that is devastating and that is extremely frightening. And based on what I can see in the documents, we're talking about power outages along with a purge. They're going to come in, they're going to take you out of your home, and they're going to put you into a military vehicle or whatever, a van, and drive you away and place you into a camp. It is a very, very big operation that they're planning. It is millions of Americans. They will do it under the cover of night, under the cover of blackness, during one of these prime blackouts. The blackouts are, based on documents, I'm just looking at it right now, they have a 3-day blackout, they have a nationwide blackout that lasts 2 days, and a lot of localized blackouts. So it is a whole series of blackouts that they're going to do. And of course it will be blamed on all kinds of things. They might blame it on Iran. I have seen that mentioned in the documents. They've already prepped people for this. There are going to be more blackouts. They're already predictive programming. So we may see more of this as we go on. As far as I can tell from Project Zypher, they are planning this next year and the year after. They are not done tagging, tracking, and identifying everyone. It looks like they're at about 78%. I looked in the documents, and there were a couple of indications of how far along they feel the project is. They're like 78% done, but they're not completely done. It does take time to identify a YouTube account and then track it to the email that it was created with and then the IP address and then find out who created it. It does take them a lot of time to do that. It is not instant. It does take a lot of research because a lot of people create a YouTube account with an email address that doesn't give any indication of who they are, an account name that doesn't have their full name on it. They don't use their real pictures. So it is a challenge for them, and that's why the project has been going on for so long. But it is coming to a close. In the next 6 months to a year, it appears it is coming to a close, and that is when Project Zypher will be initiated. So I have some notes here. I'm going to continue on, talk a little bit more about Right. They're being tracked. They're being identified. That's the whole point. A lot of people have said, well, why are some of these YouTube channels allowed to exist? Why are they allowed to so openly talk about the truth? And some of you might know Adam Green, No More News, and there are a whole bunch of others, and they're very, very open about Zionism, and they're very honest about it, and they're telling the truth. I mean, they are telling the truth. They're not hiding anything. They're not disinfo. They're not putting disinfo out there. But as far as I know, they're all a part of this operation. I can't say specifically if Adam Green is a part of it or not, but I would assume possibly he is. He has probably been guaranteed a lot of money. He's probably been promised a lot of things. He could be a Freemason. He could be a part of their operation. He could be an agent. I don't know. I have no idea. It is total speculation on my part. I have no idea. All I know is this is part of the operation. What they want to do. His channel would fit into the MO. It is an example I'm giving. He is there to tag, track, and ID. Not him specifically, but the people behind the operation who are doing all the research and all the people who are commenting and viewing and liking. They want to know who they are. They want to know where they live, and they are going to eliminate them at a date in the future. Completely eliminate them. This is going way beyond the idea of passing laws to ban speech, which they're already doing. They've done it in America already, but not very aggressively, and we will see more legislation of that nature. But they want to completely eliminate these people because they do stand in the way of the agenda. There are too many people that are waking up. It is way too many for them to handle. They're starting to have an influence, and they're starting to change the conversation online. It is of great concern to Israel. Something that the memos that I received, we'll talk a little bit about the memos. The memos are different from the classified documents. The memos are White House internal memos that discuss a wide range of things in terms of Trump's meeting with rabbis, discussions with Netanyahu over the phone. And one of the memos says that Donald Trump will have to declare himself King of Israel publicly. This is part of the process for them. It doesn't. There's no strategic reason for it. It is symbolic for them. Trump is going to declare himself King of Israel at some point. I don't know how, but they're talking about it in these memos over and over again. When he's going to do it, why they want him to do it, which again is symbolic. It has no strategic purpose, apparently. It is part of the process of the end game, basically, is what I'm saying. So we will see if that happens.
Okay, so I'm going to try to change this thumbnail. Remember, no fear. Jesus is near. Psalms 91. We're in the ark. Just blows my mind when the Lord shares something with us and, wow, and then leads us directly to it. God is good. God is faithful. He's on his way, brothers and sisters. He's at the door. When David got eliminated, his timeline brings us up to right now, actually, is when he said in about 6 months. And we see what's coming. We see the asteroids, and y'all must see channels out there who are saying things that are, you're wondering how they're getting away with it, right? And then other channels that are getting shut down for nothing. And the mask coming off, the narcissists. I can see it with my own eyes, spiritual eyes. It's amazing. God is good. He is faithful, and he will show you the truth, and the truth will set you free. In Jesus' name, I will boldly declare that this is Debbie from Texas saying, peace out, Maranatha. Let's keep looking up, brothers and sisters. Our King surely is coming.